When I first began singing, I couldn't sing any high notes. The main issue was my lack of understanding of the proper technique required for those notes, which differs significantly from the technique used in the middle or lower register. You see, singing in your high register not only requires a different approach, but it also feels entirely different. Back then, my biggest obstacle was relaxation. Every time I attempted a high note, regardless of what my voice teacher said, I would instinctively push harder and increase the volume. This built up so much pressure that I was literally unable to sing any higher than a G-sharp 4, no matter how hard I tried. My voice was darker and heavier than it is today, leading some people to believe that I was actually a baritone. Even I started to think I actually was a baritone. I still have a few clips of myself singing over a decade ago, which I'm going to share with you right now. So how did I transition to being a tenor? An actual tenor, because I already was. It all started by realizing that my speaking voice was nothing like the speaking voice of any other baritones. I know this can be a little confusing, but it really shows when a person is talking, in most cases, what their true voice might be. And in comparison with some tenor voices, my speaking voice was more similar to theirs. So I began to study the characteristics of a tenor's voice. I started imitating their techniques and applying them to myself, or at least trying to apply them to myself. This journey took me about a couple of years, filled with countless failures, awful singing, and constant self-recording, because that was the way I was actually able to realize if I was doing something right or not. It literally seemed impossible to get to the level that I wanted and to sing the notes that I wanted. But then one day, I will never forget it, I made a significant breakthrough. While attempting to sing higher than a G sharp, I tried to sing a note higher, so it was an A sharp 4. I was mimicking the sound of a person that was on the verge of tears. You know, like this voice, this was the voice. And then singing, like very loud, but using that particular technique. And to my surprise, I actually hit the note. I didn't believe it, but it had been recorded. So I was able to check it myself, and still I asked other people to check it, and it was the note. So I had managed to sing it. And then trying to do it again, I was able to keep the note and to sing it with more confidence. I remember practicing singing this note so much that it immediately became a part of my singing register. But I wasn't done yet. You'll see, the next big challenge was the tenor high C, a note that anyone who wants to call themselves a tenor must be able to sing on a regular basis. This note, for me and in my mind, was even tougher. So I was trying to sing it constantly, pushing. It didn't happen until after 2 months, I finally managed to sing it. And then I was trying to do it again in different ways and trying to understand how I had actually managed to sing it. What I was able to find out, and this is very important for anyone who wants to be able to manage their high notes, is that the key lies in controlling the volume and the intensity that you use when you're singing. And the quality of the sound will depend on the shaping of your mouth and the shaping of your entire instrument, the facial muscles, all of that included. That is going to dictate the color, which now, of course, after many years of studying singing, I know it's because of the larynx, that if you have a higher larynx position, the sound will be brighter and have like a childish sound characteristic. When you use a lower larynx, it will sound darker like this. But all of this was self-discovered by me. Even though I was completely unable to do it before, finally it was a thing. Once I finally understood how it worked and the mechanism behind it, I later managed to sing even higher notes. The highest note I have ever been able to sing is an A sharp 5. However, since then I haven't pushed my voice that far again, as aiming for such extreme high notes can be more harmful than beneficial, and it is crucial for the professional singer and to anyone who values their voices to avoid oversinging these extreme high notes, as they can really damage the quality of your technique. And many vocal coaches can say otherwise, but I prefer to stick with what the professionals say. Even Plácido Domingo gave this advice to Flores.
If I can give him one little piece of advice, because he has such an easy top from high C, D flat, D naturals, not to overdo it, not to abuse, because bringing those notes to an exaggerated length sometimes, or using them very often, it could damage, the quality of his technique.
I'm really curious about your experiences with high notes, so please feel free to share your story in the comments below. Please subscribe to my channel, your support really means a lot to me. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to hit the like button. Thanks, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!
Looking back at the good times,